So we covered licenses. We covered bag limits. I got one more question.
The great debate.
The great debate.
Debate
Or not debate.
It took me a second.
To bait or not to bait. And we're not talking about baiting, because obviously that's illegal. No question. Mm-hmm. Where it gets a little, I won't say questionable. It's just I would like to clear it up here.
It's not gray
for everyone else. But I read it and I get a little kind of like, what does that mean? There's certain words that are used that I'm like, well, that could be questionable. Let's talk about hunting over a field that.
What is considered baiting for dove?
What could keep me out of trouble if I'm hunting over a field that had at one time had, some type of grain or a
milo field,
corn, sunflower, whatever.
Let's go directly to the source where it's printed in black and white, and I'm going to cover two different things. Page 57, current outdoor annual. Make sure that says 25-26. I did grab the right one. It specifically says under baiting regulations, directly or indirectly placing, exposing, depositing, distributing, or scattering of salt, grain, or other feed that could serve as a lure or attraction for migratory game birds to, on, or over areas where hunters are attempting to take them is prohibited by federal law.
Federal law, not just Texas, that's federal.
Okay.
Federal migratory birds.
And Texas follows federal law as well. Hunters are responsible for knowing whether an area is baited or not. Okay. So that's what I'm going to stop there when it talks about what is baiting, and that is the do not do what I just read out of the book. Okay, now to go back to a little bit of for dove hunters, there's some gray areas. We'll just use it that way, but I'm going to clear up that gray area by again pointing to you the reference in the book. If I turn a page from 57, talks about. It points you to the U.S. Fish and points you to Texas Parks and Wildlife dove baiting and waterfowl baiting. It's going to go back into those federal regulations as well. But on the next page, there's a statement printed in bold. And I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. It says, a person may hunt doves over planted crops that have been manipulated for the purpose of hunting. And then that statement says a lot, and it continues, but we're talking about dove, and we're only going to talk about dove, but there's some other things that continue on, but I'm not going to make reference to that because it doesn't apply for dove hunting. But it specifically says manipulated. If you flip back towards the end of the outdoor annual, there's a section for definitions on page 84. Alphabetically, you can find them M for manipulation on the top of the right-hand side of page 85. And it says this, the alteration of natural vegetation or agricultural crops, including but not limited to mowing, shredding, disking, rolling, chopping, trampling, flattening, burning, and herbicide treatments, only lawful for dove hunting. And I'm going to leave it right there because it continues back into the waterfowl aspect. So
right.
What that means is this, Texas has a lot of farmland, 97% privately owned, but the majority of that property is agricultural in nature. And landowners do a lot of manipulation of their crop. They harvest, they do various things. Right now in South Central County, I'm seeing, matter of fact, I want to say that, there was one particular area that they're shredding. And it's a normal agricultural practice for the act of hunting to manipulate those crops. And yes, you can. Now, just because it's been shredded doesn't mean you can go out there and intentionally disperse, broadcast, additional. You can only do the normal, what was ever on scene. So you've heard of food plots. People will grow them, and they will shred them, and that's intentional for that purpose. but that does not include other migratory species. This is strictly for dove.
That for me, that cleared it up. I mean, that makes it pretty simple. And then what not to do after you were to do any of those normal agricultural practices. But those normal agricultural practices are very common here in Texas on setting up dove fields. So when you're questioning, like, is it legal? Is this... Just think about those normal agricultural practices that they're doing, and then just find out what's being done after that, whether it was they sprayed, they turned, they tilled, they... drilled,
or even before. I mean, in layman's terms, it is legal to hunt over a crop field. If it's an agricultural crop field, it's normal, necessary. You cannot go out there and just spread bait and build your own food plot, small food plot for dove hunting. That's how I interpret it.
Well, you just tied the two together.
Yeah.
You tied the two together. So you got to be careful because, yes, you can go out there to a normal crop, but you cannot do anything additional by broadcasting any of this other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't broadcast anything. You cannot go broadcast seed and dove hunt over it.
So I'm gonna add this, and this will keep a lot of people out of the trouble part.
But first, if there's already an ag field there, there's a farmer's ag field there, right? Legal to hunt over.
Okay. Legal?
Right?
Yeah.
That's
normal agricultural practice.
You just can't go out there and throw bait for dove. Is basically.
But why would you want to? That's what I was about to say. Is like, you guys realize that, like, say you drop a corn, you go and you drop corn down. I don't know, you didn't harvest it, but you brush hogged over it, whatever, and you did that with the intent to hunt dove over it.
Illegal.
Where'd the corn come from?
A normal agricultural practice.
Okay. I think Jimmy missed that, and I missed it too, which is why I asked.
Yeah, a normal agricultural practice, right? They
you're just going to shred the cornfield?
Just going to shred the cornfield.
Yep.
I don't have to harvest my corn.
No.
But I have to do something to that cornfield if I intend to hunt dove over it. Just dove. You got to do something to the land. You got to turn it down. You got to cut it. You got to shred it.
You can leave it as is.
Yeah,
I thought you had to spray, cut, turn, anything.
They were just giving you examples of manipulation.
That's the manipulation.
Yeah.
You're not required to manipulate.
So I can leave that cornfield tall.
Yeah, as is.
And hunt over it legally.
If you wanted to ruin your crop, per se.
Yeah. Where I was getting at, I guess we're on the same page, but we're saying different things, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What I was saying is, like, why would you want to, man? Like, there's people that are like, oh, I got to go spread a few seeds or some salt and this and that. Why? Those dove are going to come and hit that dirt and go look for the scrap that's left behind anyway. They love that. Go watch any plowed field afterwards and watch how many black clouds are flying over those dove are loving that.
Put a couple mojos and flickers down and just watch what happens.
That's for another podcast. But man, I mean, I think we covered, some specifics that I wanted to cover about dove season.